Next is Atomy Vision. Atomy's captain, Atomy's brand, GPTW's most respected CEO of Korea for the past 3 consecutive years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chairman Park Han-gil up to the stage. Hello, good afternoon all. I'm sure we are with the members nationwide. Thanks to Atomy, the perception of over network marketing has changed a lot because in the past people didn't really like multi-level marketing and there was a prejudice over MLM marketing. But now it has changed a lot, so we are getting the conception over MLM getting better and better. We got the award from the Fair Trade Commission's commissional. It's like a thief getting reward and award from the prosecutor. Because in the past, Fair Trade Commission treated us like the thief. So in the past, we also applied for CCM, which is Customer Center Management. We got the certificate of CCM, and it was really hard to get that CCM because only 200 companies could get certified as CCM among thousands of the hundreds of the company, because there should be no compliment from the customer for the past years. There should be no complaints or no damage on our consumers in order to get this certification. If we apply for it, they said you are a MLM company. How come a MLM company could apply for it? So they didn't even come to us for the checking. But after an endeavor of several years, we got the test. The evaluation. At first, they were like, how come you asked us to do the evaluation? But after that, the professors and the examiners said that your company is whooping better than the other companies. So we carried out the third evaluation. And also, we also got the award from the Commissioner of the Free Trade Commission.
대통령 표창 뭐 이런 거 준다고 그래도 그냥 대표이사가 가서 받아가지고 오라고.
Whenever we got a award from president, I didn't go there. But for this award, I really want to go by myself. So I went there and I got the award by myself because I really wanted to get this award. Anyways, now Atomy is rewriting the history of network marketing. This is the new catchphrase of Atomy. Then, what does it mean by rewriting the history of network marketing? In 1992, I went to Australia as a business trip in order to sell automobile parts, and there I met MLM, multi-level marketing, very first. At first, it was really fantastic. That Australian man worked at the company selling aloe product, and he said, if you are satisfied with the quality of this product, please recommend this product to the other person. And then he said that you could use the quality product, and at the same time you might get a new commission, and that if the introduction go viral, you might get more commission. At that, I was like enlightened, and I realized that, oh, MLN will dominate the world. I know I'm not that much sober. But anyway, I got that kind of thinking at that time. And with that in mind, with that product, with that membership application, I came back to Korea. And then I introduced this product to the people around me. And then people around me said you shouldn't do that.
왜 안 된다고 하지?
Because back then in the Korea history, there was an issue related to another MLN company. But I couldn't really understand that because I thought that, oh, I'm just introducing this product to the people and that I might get commission and the other people might get commission. This is what I thought back then. And I also purchased a book and I studied what multi-level marketing is.
대형 서점 세 군데를 딱 뒤졌어. 그래가지고 7권을
And back then, there were only 3 books related to network marketing. So I purchased all of them and I read all of them. And I realized what the problem was. So I talked to my sponsor in Australia. I would like to go to Australia and give me a day, and I have a bunch of questions. So I went to Sydney, alongside the beach. I asked a lot of questions to my sponsor, and I realized that there was no issues and problem related to that networking. But back then, there was an issue related to money. At very first, the problem was made because they were not doing the network marketing in legal and in a reasonable way.
그런데 그걸 330만 원에 팔아요. 그러면서 특별한 효과가 있대요.
And back then, when they sold a product, they sold it at really expensive price, and then they kind of like cheated people. So that it made a lot of like negative perception of network marketing. So we'd say that if you spend 3 million won, you might get 3 million won. So that's why there were a lot of victims of network marketing. It was not normal. Because it is all about distribution. Distribution is all about selling and buying. In order to do the good selling and buying, there should no damage on the seller and the purchaser. This is the normal way of distribution. But back then, at the network marketing, when a person purchases a product, he or she needs to have some damages on the purchase.
손해 본다는 걸 알아. 그걸로 끝나면은. 그런데 그거를 사서 보다 수당을 많이 받을 수 있는
Even though they might get some damage on the purchase, he or she might purchase it because it will lead to the commission, and they think that it is kind of investment in their business. So even though the price is more expensive than it should be, they purchase the product at an expensive price, and then they might think that it's an investment because they might get a commission. And this kind of wrong and abnormal business led to the negative perception of network marketing in the past. Of course, there is an issue related to the magnet belts, like network marketing company, but because of that abnormal marketing strategy, there was a lot of victims. I'm telling you, this is not normal. This kind of network marketing company had a wrongdoing. So let me say, putting much money will lead to achieving a lot of money, but it is not good. So let's say that if you invest 10 million Korean won, if you like purchase product worthy of 10 million Korean won, and I will give you 15 million won. So people might think, oh, if I spend only 10 million, I might get 15 million. And then this is not good. This is abnormal. This is illegal. And then some good network marketing company still has this kind of characteristic. For example, let me give you an example. I could purchase a product at 100,000 won, or I could purchase a health functional food at 100,000. But if you purchase it at 300,000, the remaining 200,000 is to become the next mastership, or to get more commissions. It is kind of investment to get the good position. If it is not realized, it is all of the deficit. So if you meet a new network marketing company, I would like to teach you some tips. You're so welcome, because I will give you some tips. First, please have a look that whether it is the necessity that you've been using, like toothpaste, toothbrush, detergents, vitamin,
그런데 그것이 품질이
and please look at the quality of the product and also look at the price of the product.
내가 사서 쓰던 건데 품질이 좋고
So if you've been
가격이
using
싸다.
that product,
그럼
but
사는
it has
순간에
much better product and
사는
quality,
순간에 이익인
price, it is
그러니까
advantage to you
경제
if you
용어에서는
purchase the
소비자 이익의
product.
원칙이라고 이렇게
So we
얘기를
call it the principle of the customer
사는 사람이
advantage
사는 순간에
in
무조건 이익을 봐야
management,
되는 거예요.
because
여러분들이
it
화면 매장에
means
가서
that
물건을
you might get advantage once
봤어요?
you
이익
make a
봤어요?
purchase. If you purchase a product at a discount
이익 보니까
store,
사러 가는 거예요.
you might get advantage. That's why you go to the
어떤
discount
이익이냐?
store to get a
소비자 이익이라고 하는 건
to
이런 거예요.
buy a
내가
purchase,
화폐를 들고 있는 것보다는
buy a product.
10만 원의
So
화폐를 들고
let's
있는
say that
것보다는
if you have a bill of 100,000, rather than having it, it's better to purchase the necessity worth 100,000, and you might get much bigger effect by purchasing the product worth 100,000. That's why we might say that you will get the advantage directly once you buy the product. This is what we call principle of customer advantage. And if from the seller's perspective, they make the product at 80,000 won, but they sell it at 100,000. So for them, they might get 20,000 advantage. So this is a win-win strategy. The seller and the purchaser might have the advantage at the same time. There is no damage, no deficit between them. I know that some of you are here
그런데 여기서도 절대 손해 안 보는 방법.
involuntarily, but I'd like to give you some tips. First, if you
품질 확인해 보세요.
if you don't want to have any deficit, please look at whether the product or the necessity, whether the products are the ones that you've been using before, and please look at whether the price is better than the one that used.
그러면 여러분들이 이제 이게 싸고 생필품인데 싸고
And then you might realize that the necessity is good and cheap. If you keep buying it, it will also be an advantage for you. But still, there is an advantage. Once you purchase the product excessively, for example, in order to be the next master chef, you might purchase huge amount of product. And then at that point, you might get deficit because most of the goods loses value when the amount is too large. For example, if you have only a bowl of rice when you're hungry, it is really effective. But if you have 3 bowls of rice, it might lead to some pains. The same goes to the materials. If you have huge amount of excessive amount of product, it is also a deficit for you. So I'd like to say that you need to purchase the product at an amount that you want. And then once you buy them,
다른 사람한테 팔로 다니는 비즈니스가 아니에요.
our business is not about selling the product you have, because selling products are really difficult.
그런데 여러분 아무리
But
못하는 사람도 한 사람한테는 팔 수가 있어.
No matter how hard it is, you can still have one customer. That is you yourself. If it is a necessity, it is really easy to sell the product to yourself. So start selling the product to yourself, and then
친구한테 가가지고 야 너도 잘 못 팔지.
to your friends, you could say, I know that you're not really good at selling products, so you could be your own customer. So you could sell your product to yourself and go to the next friend. The friends might also say, you could just sell your product to yourself, and then that shopping mall will be their own shopping mall. In Atomy, we created the shopping mall and we provided it to all of you for free. Imagine how hard it would be to develop the platform by yourself. It might cost hundreds of billions won. Now we are upgrading the shopping mall and the networks, and it costs about 12 billion Korean won. So when you want to develop the platform by yourself, it costs a lot. But Atomy made the platform and we provide it to you for free.
해먹고 살 일들이 많지가 않아요.
And in the
자,
future,
먹고 사는
we will
거
not
두
have
가지가 있어요.
many
두 가지.
things, many opportunities.
한
We
가지는
have two
뭐냐면은
things.
어디 가서
One
월급
thing
받는 거.
is that you can get salary,
공무원도 월급 받는 거고 뭐
like public
병원의 의사도
servant,
월급 받는 거고
doctors.
다 월급 받는
They
거예요.
get salary, right?
또 한 가지 돈 버는
And
방법이 있어요.
another way to
자기가
make money
자기한테 월급 주는 거.
is to give a
그걸 뭐라
salary
그러냐?
to
사장님이라고
yourself.
그럽니다.
It is called the
뭐
CEO.
식당 사장님을
Whether
하든
it's
뭐
a
하든
restaurant
자기가
or
자기를
something,
고용해서
you
사장님이
can
되는
employ
거예요.
yourself to be the CEO of
그런데
the
지금
business.
앞으로 이
And in the future,
월급쟁이 할 수 있는 그런 자리들이
those
이제 또
the
줄어들어요.
positions where
뭐
you can
때문에
get
줄어들어요?
salary, the number will reduce.
컴퓨터 AI 때문에.
Why? Because of
점점 줄어들어요.
computers,
그래서
AI.
기업에서도
The number of jobs
공장에서도 이제
will
사람을 거의 안
decrease.
씁니다. 팩토리
Companies and
오토메이션을 통해 가지고.
factories are not hiring
그다음에
as much people than before
사무실에서도 거의 사람을 안
because of
씁니다.
automation, and offices
OA, 오피스
don't
오토메이션
really
해가지고.
have a lot of
거기에다가
employees because
AI가
they have
나오면서
OA, office
웬만큼
automation.
사람들이
And with the
사고를
advance
생각을
of
해야 되는 그런
AI,
일들마저도 AI
many jobs
컴퓨터에게
are
실으면
now
더 잘 해내는
done
그런
by
상황이
AI
됐다 하는 거예요.
with even better
그러니까 월급
quality
받는
than
일자리가
human
줄어들어요.
beings.
그럼
So
이제 내가
the number of
창업을 해야
jobs
돼.
will
뭐
decrease, and
되게
you
식당
need to
많이
start
하고
your
뭐
business, like you can
옷가게
open
많이
a
하고 뭐 하고
restaurant,
그러는데
or you can
이게
sell
이제
clothes
커피숍 많이 하고 그러는데
and
이게
coffee
전부 다
shops,
어디에게 뺏기냐면은
cafe.
큰 쇼핑몰들한테 다
But you
뺏겨요.
will not have a lot of
대형
opportunity
뭐 아울렛
because those
쇼핑몰 하나
large
생기면
companies
거기에
would
커피숍도
have
있지요,
those
옷가게 있지요,
businesses,
뭐
and
어린이
large shopping
놀이터까지
malls
있지요, 뭐
have
없는 게 없어
playgrounds
식당들
for
바글바글해.
children, restaurant,
그러니까
cafes,
뭐 거기는요
and also
계절도 안 타요.
clothes shops.
저도
They
가끔
don't
날씨가
really
안 좋고
respect
그러면은 거기 산책을
weather,
하러 가거든요.
right? When it's very
쇼핑몰에
cold
이렇게.
or very hot,
거기
I
대전에도
just
보면은 현대
go
아울렛
those
해가지고 어마어마하게 큰 게 생겼어요.
like
거기
big
가서
shopping
보면은
mall.
어떤 생각이 드냐면은 와
And it
지금
reminds me
뭐
of the
아파트
fact
상가에서
that
장사하시는 분들 큰일 났다.
those small business
거기는 사람들이
owners
별로 없어.
will have a very
임대
difficult
뭐
time because
매매
those
점포 막
small
붙여놨어.
shops
그런데
don't really
사람들은 다
have
어디 갔나
many
봤더니 그런 아울렛에 와가지고
customers,
거기서들
and
놀고 있는
people
거예요.
just go to
바글바글.
those big
그래서
outlets and big
어마어마한
shopping
자본을
malls.
가진 그런
The large
기업들이
companies have
이제
a lot of money, and
그런
they
일들을
make a
이제
lot of
다
investment for
자들이
those
몰아간다 하는 거예요.
businesses to take
뭐
your
그들 나쁘다고 할 수
opportunities.
없어요.
I
서비스
cannot say
좋지요.
they
뭐
are bad because
식당에
they
가도
provide
음식도
great
맛있죠, 깨끗하지요.
services,
뭐
great
여러
food,
가지 면에서 경쟁력을
and
가지고
those
있으니까
stores are
그쪽으로
clean
가는
and they
거예요.
are very
그걸 나쁘다고
competitive,
하면 안 되는
and
거예요.
that is why many
그런데
consumers
우리가
like
이제
them. We cannot
개별적으로
say they are
거기에
bad,
그들하고 경쟁을 해서
but
어떻게
as an
이길 거냐,
individual,
어떻게
we
살아갈
cannot
거냐 하는 거예요.
really win the game against them.
그래서 지금 청년 일자리 문제가
So
심각합니다.
youth
또
employment is an
그다음에
issue.
전에 이제 월급쟁이
And
하다가 그만두신 분들
there are
50대,
people who
60대.
quit their jobs,
그런데
like
지금
those who
살기는
are in
90, 100살까지
50s and
살아야
in their
되는데
50s and
40년,
60s,
50년
and they
어떻게
have
할
still
것이냐
have
하는
40 to
이런 이제
50
노년
years
일자리 문제.
because
아예
of
뭐
the longer
지금
life
30대,
expectancy.
40대인데도
And
일자리를
for
못 찾고
those
있는 사람들 얼마나
elderly
것이냐.
citizens, the employment is
그래서
also an
그런
issue.
분들에게
For those people,
우리가
we can provide a good
같이 좀
opportunity.
모이자.
We can get
모여가지고
together.
전에는
We can gather
우리가
together.
할인 매장 가서
In
물건
the
사주고 백화점 가서
past, we
물건
used to
사주고 TV
buy
홈쇼핑에 가서
products
물건
and
사주고
TV home
인터넷
shoppings
쇼핑몰 가서 물건 사주고 했는데
and
야 이제는 우리가
internet
그렇게 하지
shopping
말고
malls or large shopping
우리끼리
malls,
쇼핑몰을
but
하나 만들어
we can
가지고
change the way. We can create a
그들보다도 더
shopping mall
싸게
for ourselves,
하면서도
and we can
그들이
provide
가져가던 이익금을
products at a
우리가
lower
다
prices to
나눠
get
갖자.
the benefits, to share the benefits
이렇게 소비자
between
조합을 만든
ourselves.
것이 애터미
So
비즈니스예요.
this is Atomy business,
그런데
a group of consumers.
그거를 현재 인터넷 쇼핑몰
And
백화점보다도
internet
더
shopping malls,
영리하게 해.
and we need to be
효율적으로
smarter than those internet shopping
그래야
malls
경쟁을 할 거 아니에요.
and department stores to
그래서
be
할인
competitive.
매장보다도 예를 들면
So,
할인 매장에서 팔고 있는
for
물건
example,
같으면은
discount marts,
동일한 품질이면 우리는 더 싸게 팔아.
if they we
예를
need
들면 우리
to
칫솔
have a
같은 경우
cheaper
칫솔
price than
보통 할인
them.
매장 가면은 2,000원, 3,000원
Toothbrushes,
하죠.
it
그렇죠?
takes it
우리는
costs about
$1,200원에
$2 to
팔아요.
$3, but it's only about $1 for Atomy, half the price.
그러면 애터미에서 칫솔 샀을래요?
And
할인 매장
what
가서
would you
비싼
choose,
거 샀을래요?
Atomy or discount
당연히 애터미에서
market?
사야 되지.
Of course,
그러니까
Atomy.
지금
the price is lower. So the toothbrushes, Atomy
지금
toothbrushes,
칫솔 역사상 제일 많이
in the
팔리고
history of toothbrushes,
칫솔이
are
제일 많이
recording the
팔렸던 모델이
highest
있어요. 럭키
sales
777
number.
칫솔이라고.
And we have the number one toothbrushes named Lucky 777 to sell 10 million every year. And we sold
그러면은
36 million.
3,600만 개 생산하는 원가하고 제일
The
많이
cost
팔리는 1,000만 개 생산하는
and the
원가하고
Lucky
누가 더 대량
77
생산해요?
cost, Atomy cost,
애터미가 더
which
대량
one
생산해요.
is the
가격 더 싸게 줄 수 있겠어요, 없겠어요? 있어요.
mass production?
그래서
Atomy is
충분히
mass production, and we can provide even cheaper
같은
price
품질이면은 더 싸게
and
팔아요.
same quality,
그러면서도 공장에다 이익을
but
줄 수 있다는 거예요.
better price, and we
제가요
can still
처음에
provide
그
benefit for
칫솔을 어디서
factories.
찾았냐면은
And
백화점
do you know where
매대에서 찾았어요.
did I
수십 개
find
칫솔을
the
갖다가 막
toothbrushes?
닦아봤어. 막 입술이 다
And a
부르트도록
department
닦아봤어.
store. I tried all the
잇몸이.
different toothbrushes,
그랬더니 이게 제일 좋아.
and my gum
그래서
got
그거를
worse.
이제
But
생산
I
공장
chose
사장님을 오시라고
the
그랬어.
best one, and
그때
I
얼마에 팔고
had a
있었냐면은
meeting with
그게
the
2,000
factory manager. At the time, the
200원
price
정도
was
팔고
about
있었어요.
$2.2 in a discount store.
이거를 우리가 한
And
가격에 팔아보자.
I said,
이렇게
we
했더니
can have the
그분이
price.
그러더라고.
And he said,
그 반가격에
no way,
만들지도 못합니다.
we
그러더라고.
cannot even bear
그래서
that
제가
cost.
자 이거 그러면서 그분이 뭐라고 그러냐면
And he said,
이게 만드는 것이 굉장히 어렵대요.
it is very hard to
그게
produce these toothbrushes.
몰드라는 것이 있는데
And
그러면서 이제
a mold.
몰드가 뭔지를 제가 못 알아듣는
And
알고
he thought,
설명을
I don't
하시더라고요.
know what
그래서
molds
제가,
are.
그 몰드에 몇 캐비티 들어가죠?
And I asked,
게이트는 핀포인트 게이트예요.
is it pin gate or fun gate for the mold?
별로 어렵지 않겠네요. 막 이렇게 하면서
And I said many
그
things
동네
about
언어를 딱
molds.
쓰니까 이분이
And
바로
he
눈빛이 달라지더라고.
changed his
통해서
face.
회장이라고 그러니까
And
그냥
he
뭐
thought
장사꾼인
I am
줄
just a
알았더니
distribution
아니,
company
자기들이
CEO,
동네에서 쓰는 전문 용어를 딱
but
쓰는 거예요.
I understand all
왜냐하면
the
제가 그
difficult
동네
things
출신이거든요.
because I'm from that
그래서
industry,
저는 대학
manufacturing sector.
다니기는 다녔어요.
Of course, I
야간대학.
graduated from a
공부를
college,
못해서.
but I was not a
제가
good
대학 들어갈
student.
때 아버님이 쫄딱 망해가지고
And at the time,
상품상금이 올라오지
my
않아서 공장에 가서
father
공놀이를 하면서
was
이제
not really
이렇게 어영부영
had a
마쳤습니다.
good
그래서
financial
공장에서
condition,
이렇게
so
일을 하면서
I had to
그때
work
이제
and study at
제가
the same
이런
time.
거 저런 거
And
현장
while
일들을
working in a
배웠어요.
factory, I learned many
처음에는요,
things
진짜
on site.
뭐가 뭔지
At first, I couldn't really understand anything.
그 공장에
And
가면은요,
the factory, at the factory,
기술자 건조라는 것도 있고
and
잘 안 가르쳐줘요. 그리고 이 새끼
those seniors will not tell you everything, and they will tell many bad things to you. They are not very kind, but sometimes they would hit me. But I learned a lot of things from the experience. And every time I work really hard, whenever I do anything. And when I was sent to the factory, it was a factory that used steel, and I could not really see any kind of possibility from that factory. So what can we create from that material? They are using that material to produce like dolls, like cats or dogs. But at the time, Korea was not rich, so only those Americans living in Korea would buy those the decoration. So we had just limited customers. Like every month, we could get only about 10 million Korean won in sales. So I said,
사람들 머릿속에 뭐를 사고 싶어 할까?
And I
근데
try
내가
to think
가지고 있는
about
이 주물
what
사고
products
주물
people
이런
want
인형
to
같은 거 사고 싶어
buy.
하는 사람은 없는 것
And
같아
I
아무리
couldn't
봐도.
really see any
그런데 이
potential
사람들
customer
머릿속에
for our
자동차는 다
products.
사고 싶지 않을까?
But I
그 생각이
can
들더라고.
see
봤더니 다 사고 싶대.
cars,
그때 막
a
시내버스
lot
타고
of
다닐 때.
consumers for, a lot
그래서
of demands for
자동차
cars.
회사에 들어가 가지고
So
내가
I
이거를 무슨 뭐 이렇게 엠블렘 같은
started
거라도 하나
working
만들어서
for,
붙이고 뭐 뭐든지 하면은
I started
자동차 한 대
thinking
팔릴 때
that
요
we
부품을
can
하나
create
팔릴 거
an
아닙니까?
emblem for
그래서
cars.
그걸 자동차 회사를 한번 뚫어봐야 되겠다.
So
그리고
I
이제 찾아간 게
tried
부평에
to
있는 대우
meet
자동차
a
회사예요.
company, Daewoo,
제가 그때
in
28인가
Bupyeong area. That
살
the time
먹었고 군대
I
갔다
was
와서
28
이제
and
대학
29
한
years old.
3학년인가 4학년인가
I
됐을
was
때예요.
third grade in
이제
university.
그 가방을 하나 들고
I
이제
got my bag
대우자동차 정문을 갔습니다.
and I visited the
첫 번째
company.
엄청나게
For the
어려운
first
난관이 있더라고요.
time,
그게
I
뭐냐면
faced a
정문
big
경비 아저씨. 왜 안 돼?
barrier, the
그래서
guard
내가
of the
이
main gate.
회사에다가
He said,
이
"Why are you
회사에
here?"
필요한 그런
And I said,
제품을 개발해내기 위해서 왔다.
I am here to
그러니까
develop
그걸
a very
아저씨가
necessary product
그러니까
for
너희
this company.
회사에서 뭐를 생산하냐고.
So the guard
그래서
asked me
아니
what
우리
product
회사에서 뭐를 생산한다는
your
것이
company
아니고
is producing,
이
and I said we are
회사에서
not producing something.
필요한 부품이
We
있을 거 아니야.
are
그러면
trying to
그거를 내가
produce
개발을 해서
some
납품을 해주려고
parts
한다.
that are
그러니까
necessary
니네 회사가
for the
공장을
company.
있냐고. 아니 우리 회사에 공장이
And
있는 것이
he
중요한 것이
asked,
아니고 이
"Do you
회사에
have
필요한
a
것이 무엇이냐가
factory?"
중요한 거
And I
아니냐.
said, "That is not important. What is
그랬더니 소리
important
가래.
is the demand, what the company, the Daewoo needs." And
그래가지고
I was
거기서 한야절을
gotten out
싸웠어.
of the gate. And I
아니 아저씨 나
spent the entire
잡상인데
day, and I told him,
잡상인같이는 안 생겼잖아.
I am not
괜찮게 생겼잖아.
a hugger.
잡상인 중에 이런 얼굴 봤어? 그러면서 이제
Have you seen any hugger like me?
그래가지고 이제 하여간 다 퇴근하고 이제 나도
So,
퇴근했지. 그 다음날 아침에 또 간
and
거야.
next day, I went there again.
오늘 왜 하냐?
And the guard said,
내가
"Why
어제
are you
갈
here
얘기를
again?"
했다고.
And I said, "I told you
그래가지고
yesterday."
이제 하루 종일 또
So
저녁
another
때까지 또
day
싸운 거야.
until the night.
점심 먹으러 가면 나도 이제 가서 짜장면 한 그릇 먹고
And
와가지고 또 싸우고.
during the lunch, I would also go to have lunch
되니까
and came back.
이제 좀
And
친해졌어.
the third
너
day,
진짜 안
we got a
갈래?
good relations.
진짜 안 보내줄래요?
Like we
내가
are
주민등록
asking
좀
each
만들라고
other,
했어요,
I
안
want to
했어요?
get into the
내가
company,
가가지고
and he
도둑질을
would
하거나
say
범죄를 하거나
no.
문제를 일으키면은
And
여기 주민등록증
And I
잡아놨으니까
said,
당신이
you can
나를
get my
가만히 넣으면
ID.
되는데
If
뭐 때문에
I
못
make any
보내주냐고.
trouble inside,
그러면서
then
이제
you can call the
당신이
cab.
저기 가정에 충실해?
And I asked
이렇게
him,
물었더니
are you serious about your
왜?
family? And he asked me why. Why are you asking me that question? And I said, family is very
가족들하고
important.
이런 공연 가본 적 없지.
And I
그래서
said,
어디서
have
이렇게
you
그
been in
공짜
this kind of
그런
performance
그
with your family?
티켓 이런 거를
It is a like free
주면서
ticket,
진짜
performance
나쁜
ticket.
놈 아니야.
And I said, I'm not a bad man.
보내줘봐.
So you can get this ticket and
진짜 너 사고
please
치면 안
get
돼.
me inside.
그러면서 이제
And
출입증하고
he
주민등록증하고
gave
딱
me
바꿔주더라고요.
the
3년 만에 들어갔어.
card, entry
문제는
card.
뭐냐면은
I
그렇게
succeeded in
큰
entering
공장을
the
처음
company,
들어가봤어.
but the problem is that
공장 안에
it
로타리가
was
있어.
my first time for me
나는 이렇게
to
전문
get
들어가면은
into that
마당처럼
large
있고 이렇게
factory.
건물 하나 있는 그런 공장만 밖에서 봤지.
I
그렇게 큰 공장을 들어가 본 적이
It was my first time to
그러니까 이제
see
내가 어디로
that
가야
big
되는지
factory, so I
말을
couldn't
잊어버린
really
거예요.
know
그래서
where
물어봐야
to
돼.
go. So I should
어디로
ask
가야 되냐고.
the path,
그런데
right?
내가 하는 말을 못 알아들어. 왜냐면은
But they don't
거기에
understand what I
자재부서가
say
있는지 설계부서가
because
있는지 개발부서가 있는지
there are a lot
이런
of
것들을
departments like
내가
development
몰라
and
그런 것을
materials,
연구소가 있는
department
것을.
names,
그래서 자꾸 막
and
물어보는데
labs.
뭔
But
말인지를 못
I
알아듣고
don't
지나가.
know the departments,
또
so
물어봐도 몰라.
they don't understand my
그러다가
question.
한참을 물어봤더니
So
어떤
I
사람이
tried many times.
연구소를 찾으세요?
So
그런
one
거야.
person asked
그때
me, "Are
어떻게
you
몰랐어? 아, 연구소
trying to
가면
find a
되겠다.
lab?"
예예예 그래.
And so I said,
거기
yes,
가보라.
yes, that's what I'm finding, and you
연구소가
can go
있는지
there.
없는지 몰랐어요.
I didn't really
그래서
know
거기
that
연구소를
company
갔더니
has a lab,
그 인포메이션
laboratory,
데스크에
and in the information desk, there was a
앉아있어.
very pretty lady,
천사 같아.
like
이
an
정말
angel,
경비 아저씨하고는
which is
차원이 다른
different
거야.
from the guard.
어떻게 하셨어요?
And why? How
그래서
can I
이제
help you? She said.
제가 새로운 부품을
And I
개발하는 그
said,
일을
I am
해보고
developing
싶어서
a
여기
big
왔습니다.
a part
그분도 잘
for
못
this company,
알아듣는 것
and
같은데
I guess
왜냐하면은
she
제가
was
전혀
not
제가
understanding
뭔가를
what
하고
I was
있는지를
saying
모르는
because I
거예요.
couldn't really understand what I was saying.
그래서 얘기를 하니까
And
그분이
she said,
혹시 신상품 개발하는
and
부서장님을
you
찾으시는가요?
are trying to
그때
meet
신상품 개발 부서가 있다는 걸
the
처음 알았어.
leader, team
예.
leader of new
차장님
products
계시는데
development,
지금
and
계시는데
I
내려오시라고
didn't
할까요?
even know
예.
uh,
그럼 저기
the
가서
company
잠깐만
has, the
기다리세요.
laboratory has
그
the
앉아
team,
있었더니 이 작은아버지 같은 분이 딱 오더라고.
and the team leader came down to meet
그래가지고
me.
그분이 이제 뭐를 하냐고 그래서
And he
지금
asked
뭐를
me
하고 있는
what
건
I
아니고
am doing,
뭐든지
and I am not doing anything, but
개발에 어려운 그런
we
제품이
can help
있으면은
you
제가
for your
개발을
development.
해드리겠습니다. 그러면서 자기가 설명을 했더니
And I
그분이
explained everything.
의외로
And
그럼 내가
surprisingly,
잠깐 위에 올라갔다 오겠다.
so I will go
그러면서
upside.
이렇게 자동차 부품을 하나 들고
And
왔어요.
he got me,
당시에
he showed me a part.
대우 자동차에 르망이라는 차가
There
있었고
was a model
그
called
르망은
Rumang,
GM의 유럽 법인이 오펠이에요.
and
오펠의 카데트 모델인데
the
그
Cadet
카데트
model of
모델을
Opel.
한국에서 라이센스
And
생산을
Cadet
하는
model is a
상대적으로 다
licensed
가져와.
model
그리고
in
이제
Korea, the same
생산을 할
one,
때 우리가 그때
but different name
자동차를
in
직접
Korea.
설계할 수 있는 실력이 안
So
되니까
they
그걸 가져온
get
거예요.
all the
그런데
design from Europe,
정부에서는 70%는 국산화를 해야
but
제조
the
허가를 내준다. 이렇게 돼
government
있어. 그러니까 이제
law has a
70%를
law
국산화를 하는데
saying that
나중에는
70% of the parts
90%까지
should be
국산화를
produced in Korea,
단계적으로
and the
하겠다는
number
서약서를
should
쓰고
increase to
그리고
90%, and
이제
they should
이걸 생산에
sign a
착수를 하는 거예요.
contract and
그런데
before
자, 이제
starting the
70%는
production.
국산화를
So
했죠.
70% of the
그런데
parts
나머지
are
이제
produced in
전문
Korea,
차적으로
but they
90%까지
have to
국산화를
increase
해야
that
되는
number to
거예요.
90%,
그런데
right?
지금
But
이제 그 국산화율에서 밀리는 거예요. 그러니까
they
이제
are not getting
이
that
상공부
goal.
수송기계과에서
And the
사인을 해줘야
relevant
돼. 수입 허가를
department
해줘야 돼. 그 부품을 들여오는데.
need to
그런데
sign
그 포터픽스드 그래스라고 하는
and
건데
agree
삼각형 유리창이 있어요. 안 열리는 창.
a part
그것을
to import
생산하는데
the part
그게
from
그걸 해낼 수 있는
overseas.
기술을 가진 회사가 없는 거예요.
And
그래서
there was no company
그걸
in Korea who can
개발할 수 있는
produce
거예요.
this part.
심각하게
So
부딪혀
I try to,
반응할 것
I
같습니다.
pretend to
그러고 들고 왔어요. 그래서 하여간 그때부터 시작해서 그것이
study the part, and from that time I did my research like it was made of polyurethane and many other detailed information. So we succeeded developing that part. We didn't really have anything,
그리고
but still succeeded.
제가 그때 그거를요 에폭시 몰드를 떠가지고
And I created an epoxy mold, and I put many materials. When I mix it, I used a tool to mix it, and a staff said you can use impeller. And what is impeller? I said that is a very small fan. How to use it? So you can put it in the. And I was using that tool thinking that this technology is really good. And the volume would get bigger, right? And it would spill over, and I was like this. And the staff said, you can use pressure. And that was also another thing, another good thing for me. What is press? And he said, how? He told me how. So later on, the press, timer sequencing, all those things are automated, right? And the impeller is replaced by those chambers, automated chambers, with a nozzle. All these things are developed, but at the time we didn't really have those automated machines. And later on, I learned that
there is a German company who has the machine. So we imported the machine to create a factory.
So what I want to say is that
이 플라스틱 가공 쪽에서는 대한민국에서 두 번째가라고 합니다.
I became number 2 in Korea regarding this automobile parts processing. So I worked with Daewoo, Kia, Hyundai, Ssangyong. So I became the first vendor supplying these kind of parts. Now I became an owner of a factory with 300, 400 workers. But I was younger than before. I have no experience meeting a lot of top executives. So that's why I got rid of that kind of high position people when I first started Atomy. Even though I was in my early 30s, I'm sure I was really capable of, but the top executive didn't really trust me. So I need to went through a lot of approval processes. So in Atomy, I met the process, not getting the approver. And I also made a system that you could make your own business card by yourself without my approver and permission. So, long way to go, long way to go. So that's how I started toothbrush. Like this, I had experience in the automobile parts, like engineering, plastic, polyurethane, and then I also worked with lab of the Hyundai Motors, and I worked with bachelor's degree doctors and the PhDs. They are the expert, but I conducted the seminar related to the technology in front of all of that expert. I was a salary worker for the past 17 years. I really want to do the manufacturing because it was really fun for me. I really like making a lot of new parts, and I really wanted to read the times. So back then, there was a saying that
물이 흘러가는 쪽으로 꾸역하다가 언덕으로 그래서 시대를 거스르면 안 된다.
horse will live and a cow will die because horse will go forward, go toward the times, but the cows will go backward, which means that I realized that I need to follow the time and I need to move forward. And that's how I started the internet department store business. You know, we already introduced Atomy as a mall. Han Kyung-soo is the CEO of Atomy as a mall. Before, I developed the internet department store that CEO Han Kyung-soo was the team leader, the manager of the network. So I asked him to come to me, but he declined my proposal. But now he came back to me, and then I asked him, yes, hey, let's start it the as a mall once again. Without Mr. Han, we cannot make this as a mall.
그래서 하여간 이제 네트워크 마케팅하고 인터넷 쇼핑몰이 믹스되어 있는.
So we are the one and only company having network marketing and the distribution shopping mall all together. Amway and Nu Skin also made the same trial, but they failed. But Atomy is the one and only company that has that kind of platform, selling 100,000 types of product, which is also sold in the department stores and the discount store. But at the same time, if you purchase the product in as a mall, you could still get some PV additionally. I might say Atomy is the one and only in the world that have this kind of platform. Let me move back to toothbrush. We need all nights. Please cancel my schedule. I will do it until the dinner time. Anyways, the toothbrush, I started to manufacture the toothbrushes.
양가격에 팔 수 있는 대안을 내가
So
제시를 해줄게.
I suggested a new solution that we could sell it at a half price.
그랬더니
I asked how many cavity will be in the one boxes, and they said it is 3 boxes. So I said, please increase it by 3 times. And then that machine needs to use like thousands of the ounces, and we could use the second-handed machine. And I could also pay for it, and I will not change the design, because if we change the design, we need to change the molds, and then it leads to increasing the cost. So I don't want to change the
입이 바뀌지
design
않는데 안
before until
그래서 우리는 10여 년 전에 선택한 그
people's
창고를
mouth shape changes. That's why we have the same design of the toothbrushes for the past several years and several decades. So
를 사오는데
now we also
백으로 사오냐 그랬더니
purchased
사오는데
the raw ingredient.
돈이 좀 그래서 자 톤백으로 사오고
So please,
줘라. 그럼 한 20% 떨어질 거
you
아니야?
could purchase it by tons, and you could also
가격을
pay first, and then we could also decrease the cost. Like this, I decreased the production cost first, and I also didn't do the mold changes, which means that it is go 100% automatic. So I call it is a reasonable cost down. I learned it from the automobile company, and I applied the strategy to my company. In the automobile company, they need to assemble thousands and hundreds of the components, so it is really difficult to manage the cost. But in this kind of households company and the cosmetics company, it's much easier to manage the cost and to make the cost down.
수건에 물이 줄줄줄줄 흘러.
I could see that there are a bunch of ways to decrease the cost. Let me take an example of Hemohim.
우리 만나기 전에 다른 회사에서 그 60호에 77만 원에 팔았었어요.
In the past, that was
만나가지고 이거를 10분의 1 가격
770,000 Korean won per 60 sachets. So I said, let's make the cost down. And they said, no, it's absurd.
좀뭐 그럴 듯한데 이거 풀뿌리야.
You know, all of these ingredients are the roots.
풀뿌리 푹푹 삶아가지고 국물 내가지고 다 맞추고.
You know, it's an extract of that roots, so it doesn't need to be that expensive. And I said, all of the new herbal ingredient and the extract need to be harvested, and also the agriculture method will be the same with that one, with like radish cultivation. Actually, I might say that it might be easier to cultivate radish. And then we could make a contract with a farmer, and then we could pay in advance, and then we could get the ingredient. In that way, we could decrease the cost. And then now we are using 0.5 tons, but now we could use it with 10 tons and 20 tons. And then we could, if we added all of them, we could make it the size of 50 tons. Compare it with 0.5 tons and 50 tons. Now, if we increase this kind of size, we could increase the productivity at the same time, which could lead to the cost down. And then there are all the backlashes. I like saying that there are a lot of technologies, a lot of like endeavors, and a lot of like processes. I said, this is not all of your job. This is the job of the machine. The electricity cost and the motor cost, please calculate it and I will pay it for you. It is not a deficit. I calculated it. When I worked in an automobile company, I worked in a cost management team. So I knew it for the past several years, so I knew how to make the cost down. I was the expert in that field. That's how I decreased the cost, and now it is only 88,000 boxes per one box. Before it was 770,000 won, but now it is 88,000. It is only 1/10 of the original cost. Now this is how we are keeping the absolute quality and absolute price. We are not really making the partner companies hard. It is a reasonable cost down. But still,
이런 것을 만들어 낼 만한 네트워크 마케팅 회사의 회장이 없어. 왜냐?
There was no network marketing chairman who could make it a reality because all they could have like dream, but they don't have any know-how of the manufacturing. But I know how to do it. I am an expert in the field of manufacturing. I know from A to Z. I know from the bottom to the top. Because I was an expert in the manufacturing part, I could make it all possible. Back then, I worked with one factory owner.
금성사에서 그 텔레비전 박스 있죠?
That
나무로 돼 있어.
factory owner
모른 척 해야 이제 설명.
manufactured a wood TV, wood television. If you knew it, it means that you are old. Anyways, we changed the wood into plastic, and that factory owner developed that design by himself. So he is an expert in this engineering parts, and he became an owner of this factory, and he trained me.
야, 이거 어떻게 만들었어?
He said,
올려가 재료
how you made it, what's the ingredient, and calculate the cost, and show me the processes. If I failed to do that,
이제 뭐 이렇게 결제를 받으러 가면은 너 그거 했어? 그것도 못한 놈이 뭐 돈 쓴다고 결제 받으러 다녀? 그거부터 해결해 가지고
he really call it bullying me or torturing me. He was torturing me. But at the same time, he also arranged a match between me and my wife. Anyways, someday he asked, you know how to make this needle? I didn't know that, but I did it. I did an explanation. First we need to do the extrusion. And he said, okay, and then after extending it, we need to cut it into the pieces, and then we need to do the forging because we need a hole in the needle. After do the forge, we need to make it straight, and then we need to make the center of gravity, and then in order to keep the gravity, we need to do the spinning. But still, I haven't visited any needle factory, but I knew it because I have a lot of knowledges and know-hows in the manufacturing part in the past. So in my imagination, I own my own needle factory, and then I also continue, and then we need to do the vibrating because we need to polishing it, and we need to grinding it, and then we need to put the chrome and nickel, and then we need to grease it, and then we can package it. And he said, okay, you are correct. You passed. After I got passed, my work life became much more convenient. And because I've never been to the factory, needle factory, but this is all of my imagination. But he said it makes sense. Anyways, he admitted me, and then I could know the processing of the metals. I needed to know the casting, forging, and the processing the metals. I needed to study all of them. I also needed to start the wood part as well, from the plastic, from the metal part, from the wooden part. All of the processes need to be studied by me. So I really wanted to work in the manufacturing part, but I read the world. I read the times. I realized that it is really difficult to live in the manufacturing world. So I decided that I need to change first. That's why I developed the internet department store. But I was too early. Even though there was no fiber cable, but I developed the internet department store, and in order to make the screen pop up, even though we didn't have any smartphone, I saw PDA With that PDA,
고속버스 터미널에 가서 1시간, 2시간 전에 가서 줄 설 필요가 없습니다. 여기 탁 하면 좌석이 딱 뜹니다. 거기서
you could arrange a seat in the express bus and you could make a reservation and you could make a purchase and then you could get the ticket on your internet and then you could show it at the counter and you could take the bus. I said it in 1990. This is all of my work I made in 1990, which is 30 years ago from today. I might say it's only like old dynasty in terms of the internet development. I extended at
더구나 저 수원 밑으로 가면은 그때 거기까지 수원까지는 강케이블
and then there were no optical fiber cables in Korea beneath Suwon City, and at there the construction for the fiber optical cable was under construction, underway. So that's why my business only went for 3 years, and then for the 3 years I need to live in a small room, small house, and then I make a new business plan, which is Atomy.
그래서 하여간
Anyways,
그렇게 이 회사를 만드는데 정말 이 네트워크 마케팅을 정말 정상적인 비즈니스로 만들어 봐야 돼.
what I want is that I want a normal network marketing business. So I want to sell a product at a cheaper price than the department store and the discount store. That's why I put the catchphrase of absolute price and absolute product quality. This is how I started Atomy. From now on, Atomy will be the only and only in the world, and it will dominate the distribution market in the world. Because from the beginning, our goal was to become a hub of the distribution. All of the distribution will be made through Atomy. Because in the past, all of the route will go through the Rome. So like this, Atomy will be the hub of the distribution. You might say that Atomy will be bigger than the distribution, like department stores and Walmart. And I might say, yes, it will be.
저는 전 세계 유통을 석권을 해버리려고 애터미를 지금 구상하고 만든 거다 하는 거예요.
Because I designed Atomy in order to dominate the world of like distribution. In the market, people sell and buy.
옛날에 보면은 시장에 가면
In the past, in the market, there is a shoes market, fish market, the cosmetics market, blah blah blah.
그래서 거기서 신발은 자기가
So-
내는 다 자기 신발을 다 쓰도록 고객이 되는 거야. 근데 신발 가게 주인도 생선을 살 때는 생선 가게 가고 학용품을 살 때는 학용품 가게.
It was like kind of like domination. For example, all of the shoes will be purchased in the shoes market, and the fishes will be market in one fish market. The buyer and the seller were at the same place. But
할인 매장이 하나 빵 내려오면
one day, a new discount store is made, and all of the retailing shop within 5 kilometers will go bankrupt. 70% of the retailing shop will go bankrupt because the distributor will be the only discount store, and the remainers will be the buyer.
할인 매장.
All of the money will go to the discount store.
망했더라도 좀 내가
So
물건을 사는데 점점점 주머니가 비고 돈 있는 사람들한테는 어마어마하게 돈이 쌓이는 빈부의 격차 문제가
it also leads to the gap between the rich and the poor.
결국은 이 할인 매장도
At last, the discount store
쇼핑몰도 이런
and the internet shopping mall and the porter services might get the money at first, but later, if they lose the customers, if they have no people purchasing the product, that shops will also go bankrupt. This is why we need to make the culture of the win-win strategy. So, if you make money there, and the money will go to one source, and then that they will not like share or spend their money because they've got all of things already. They have their house, they have their cars, and they have all of things. So they are reluctant to spend their money so that the consumption will stop there. The consumption will not lead to another consumption. There will be no money circulation. And then all of the issues will go to the working level people. In order to make the money circulation, we need to make the consumption to continue, to continue, to continue.
그래서 옛날의 시장 구조를 그대로 지금 다시
So
않으면
if we don't have the
심각한 문제가 발생을 하죠.
old market structure again, then we will see very serious problem. We should not go there, and we should come together in Atomy Mall to buy products. Like we have lower prices for cosmetics and toothbrushes as well. And cosmetics, we have great quality, but the price is only 25% of other products. And that is because we don't really have the TV commercial fee, which is usually 30% of the entire price. And I will tell you the secret, those cosmetic models, they are pretty from the start, not because of using the cosmetics. When many people misunderstand that those models, those stars became pretty because of the products. And those department stores, those stores, they have to pay for the place, right? The rent fee. But we don't have to pay for the rent fee and TV commercial. So we still have great quality but lower price, but still we can provide compensation of 30%. For example, Hemuhim, 88,000 Korean won. Health functional food, Orgapi, those products, and mushroom, those health functional food. These are the gifts that you send for your parents, and it takes about $150. And you would send it as a gift to your parents during your Lunar New Year. And actually, they have a lot of water inside. But our Hemohim doesn't really have a lot of water. And if you want to create a fake product of Hemohim, you cannot really have this good price. You might have heard of Hemomime, fake price, and it's twice the price. And it's not that good, and it disappeared. So we have a very, very low price, and we provide compensation for our members from our profits. And this is very rare in the world, and it can only grow. We are in an early stage. In the future, those Walmart, Amazon, those customers will come to Atomy. Moving forward, 50 years later and 100 years later, in the past, you will have two different groups. Those people whose grandfathers did the Atomy business and who didn't. And they would say, my grandfather, my grandmother was given a good opportunity to join the seminar, but she didn't join Atomy, and I am poor because of her bad decision, right? But your children would say, thanks to my grandmother, thanks to my grandfather, I am rich today. Atomy business is really a big business. If you become an imperial, you can earn about 100 billion Korean won, or $100 million, like $100K every month, 30 years, and it's about $30 million, right? And you can give this position to your children, and your children can enjoy the benefit for 30 years, and your grandchildren can also enjoy the benefit for 30 to 40 years, and accumulated value is about $100 million. So you can grow your family member, the entire family members. If you don't do Atomy, then your children, your grandchildren would be left poor. Your decision today would decide their future. You should dream of becoming rich. The biggest reason why you are poor right now is because you don't have that dream. You might say, I like being rich, right? But you should not wait for someone who would make you rich. No one would make you rich. You should do it by yourself. If you have a dream to become rich, then you should know how much money the rich people would earn. And you would say, my dream is to earn about 3K or $7K every month. And for example, if you are heard someone is earning $100K every year, then you might just envy them. And you don't really have any dream of becoming that person. And whenever I meet people, for example, when I meet a university president, their past retirement life is very gloomy because if they have only about $3K every month, then they would have nothing. As a president, they would have like driver, they would enjoy many things, but after retirement, you have to calculate. Whenever you get gift from your students, from your son and daughter, then you have to calculate how much money should I send them back. That is why they would go to those rural areas, and they don't really maintain a very glorious life. And after saying that, I asked them to join us. So if you believe someone's business is really good, your target is having a great job, then you cannot say anything. You cannot persuade them to buy our products, and you should feel that you should feel pitiful about them. For example, there is a restaurant owner. You should not think that they are having a very great business. Rather, you should think that they must be very tired because they have to get up very early every day, and then you can tell them, let's do a global business together to travel all around the world. And you should say all those things, thinking they are very pitiful. And to do that, you should understand how great Atomy business is. But you don't really study. This year's catchphrase is be excellent or be extreme. How to be excellent? You should work at least 8 hours every day. And you should understand compensation plan. It's been 3 to 5 years after starting this business, but if you still don't understand, if you still don't really explain the compensation plan, then you are overestimated. with your compensation. If you send me a message, I used to be the dam master, but I am the auto sales master. It's been 7 years, and I would say you are still overestimated. So you should be very excellent about explaining our company vision and our products. To do that, you should study. That's how you can be very excellent. And you should be able to explain how good I am, how handsome I am, how great I am. You should be able to explain all those things to others. It's not important if I am really that person, if I am really handsome. You just have to say that. Why? Because you have to grow your business. You are professionals. And please put down the camera. And it's great because among Korean companies, our donation compared to our sales is number 1 in Korea. So we are donating more than 20% of our profits. Isn't it great? We are number 1. And we are number 1 good place for work. And I am the CEO of the company. Isn't it great? So I'm over 60 years old. And I also got the doctor's degree. And I am also PhD in management. And I wrote a paper. And I think the paper from my master's degree can change the MLM industry in the future. I'm not saying that I used to be a very good student, but still, you can also get your doctor's degree if you go to school every day, and you can get the degree even when you are not a good student. And I just gathered all the document from Atomy, and professor would be very surprised to see those documents because it is really hard for him to see, to find those data. And I think that is also what I can provide, right? So you should be excellent. That is the basic thing. 8 hours every day. And the commute time is not included. It's not included. If you are a public servant, then if it takes 2 hours to get work, to get to office, then could you say that, can I work? Could you ask you work only for 6 hours? No way. From the time you get and arrive in the center, that is the starting point for your calculation for the working time. You can calculate for yourself. Did you work for 8 hours every day? For example, if you invested like $100K to open a store, then you might open the store 24/7, and you should be excellent. For Atomy business as well, your mouth is the shutter for your store. We don't have any physical store, but if you keep talking, then that means your store is open, and you should talk for more than 8 hours every day, and you should think about how many hours do you talk to your customers. If you really want to earn $100K every month, then you want to achieve that dream without even working for 8 hours a day, then that is just a daydream. Of course, there are some people who are achieving that without working that much. That is a special thing about Atomy. Of course, you might be that lucky or not, but you should not rely on your luck. Why? Because you have your beloved family members. You should be excellent, but still, those excellent people, there are some people who are not getting success even after being very excellent. There are some people who are not good at explaining products or compensation plan. Then you should be extreme. You should be extreme. And you should say, I tried it and it's really, really good. I got really, really healthier. It's really good. The cosmetics, I don't really understand the substances, but you can still say, oh, it's very moisturizing. It's really good. So you can say that. That is how to be extreme. And I think that is also a very good way. And if you cannot explain compensation plan, but you still can say that, please join me for the seminar. Today, the weather is good. It's rainy, so you don't really have anything to do. So you can come with me. If you invite them like several times, then on this one time, he or she would agree. And that person would even work harder than you. That's how to be extreme. And you should work until night. You should not go home. At home, you would just watch the TV, right? You should just watch those TV shows. So until you achieve the success, you should focus on your job, your business. That's how to be extreme. And you should be humble to others. For example, for sponsors, I will carry your bags. For partners, you should say, I will be your driver. So you should work really hard to help others. Then they would want to be with you, and you should try to be a good friend for him. And one lady became the crown master only by cooking great foods. So Atomy has a really good system, success system. Anyone can succeed in this system if you are determined. But if you want to become successful, then I calculated at least 1 month you need to have $30,000 to provide the living fee for your parents. And if your income is only $7,000, then you cannot give a lot of money for your parents. So at least you should earn $30,000 every month. And you should be able to buy a house for your children when they get married. But if you earn less money, then you cannot buy that houses for your children. So the standard for the rich should be $100,000 every month and more than $30,000. If I earn less than $30,000 every month, then that means I am poor. You should have this standard. And there is a misunderstanding about money. Many people misunderstand that earning a lot of money is harder. That's not true. Monthly income, $1,000, $10,000, and $100,000. Which one is the hardest? And the answer is the first one, $1,000 is the hardest to earn. And there's one more misunderstanding. Many say that you have to spend your money according to your income. That's what the government should do. The government should not spend more money than its revenue, because that would cause higher prices. During the COVID-19, you got a lot of subsidies, right? And then after that, we saw higher prices, and now we are spending more, and interest rate has become higher because of higher prices. So now many people are getting hardships. So you should not get those subsidies from the government.
Populism is all about giving money. Let's take an example of El Salvador and some South American company. You know, it's the inflation is an issue. Government is not making money. All of the government's money is from the people or making the money from the national bank. So what should we do? We need to make a lot of money, and you need to pay a lot of taxes in order to make a stronger company, stronger nation. And if the government says that we would like to give you some cash, you need to say no, thank you. And then, you know, the housing prices need to go down. And then people will get hope to buy a house. But anyways, the housing prices is increasing more and more. Yes, I need to make it to an end. So you need to dream to be rich. If your commission is less than 30 million Korean won per month, it is a poor. And you need to be an imperial master. Imperial master should be your goal. It must be your goal. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Do you understand me here? You need to make 100 million Korean won a year. If you want to be an imperial master making 100 million won a year, please raise your hand. You see all? We need to live a rich life. God wants us to be a rich. So Abraham was rich, David and Solomon were all rich. Living a poor life could make sense in the Buddhism, because it always concentrating and highlighting sharing the money, but you don't need to try that. But making your mindset clear and making your mindset empty is not an easy thing. But you know, in order to make your mind clear, you need to fill your mind with other things. If your mind is dark, you need to put more light into your mind. So if you want to think humble and if you want to make your mind clear, do not try to make it empty, but you need to fill your mind with other things. I always emphasizing writing the life scenario and the balanced life, and sometimes they said that they empty their minds and they are really lethargic. But this is not what I want. Especially Christians. We go to church, but in our culture there are also a lot of Buddhist like traits or characteristics. So sometimes they said we need to empty our mind. But I said, do not try to empty your minds. Rather, you need to fill your mind with with other things. And there's one more thing. You need to fill your minds up, but still there are some blanks. and that blanks need to be filled with the glory of the heaven. I always pray for it,
하나님,
which is about
많이 보여주세요. 하늘나라를 좀 더 많이 느끼게 해주세요.
the heaven. I always pray, God, please show me heaven. I want to see more of the heaven. I
세 번째 하늘에
don't like Paul because after going to the heaven for 3 times, he didn't write anything about the heaven. He only said that I saw
형님 마음에 안 들어.
one thing that the normal people could not see.
사도 요한은
This is all. That was all. But I want to hear more about the heaven.
예수님의 모습을 막 거기
But in the Bible, there are also a lot of sayings about the God, about the heaven.
이 양털같이 하얀 옷을 입었는데 막
God's wardrobe was like the sheep's. It was really bright.
빛난 주석 같은
And the
춤을 해봤거든요. 춤을.
feet are also shiny.
샘물 끓이면 빨간 빛 나오죠.
When we burn the metal,
그죠? 뜨겁지만 않으면 들고 다니고 싶죠.
it became red. It becomes red, even though it's really, really, really hot. But it's brightening, and it's like red.
닮으면요.
If we
빛이 나와. 너무 아름다워.
burn that cordure, it bright like white.
천국에서는 바뀔 거다 하는
So that in the heaven, our body will change like the body of God. This is what the Bible states. So, anyways, I don't.
세상에서는요. 하나님이 우리에게
In this world,
실적으로도 풍요롭게 사는
God
것을 원하십니다.
wants us to live a wealthy life. That's why He gave us a lot of things. This like natural creature, a lot of things He gave us. So we need to be rich with Atomy in this world. With Atomy, all of you could become rich. I always want you to be rich. But at the same time,
문제는 뭐냐?
the
부자가
problem is that even though we become rich, we all die.
되고
I myself also will die.
우리가 이 애토미 비즈니스를 통해서
So with Atomy business, we need to achieve 3 rich.
하나는 뭐냐? 머니 리치.
Money rich,
또 하나는 프렌드
friend rich,
그다음에 또
and
하나는
time rich.
시간의 자유, 시간의 부자가 되는 거예요. 그런데 머니 리치 충분해. 1억만 가지면은요. 10억 가진 사람의
If we have 100 million won a year, we could achieve money rich.
가고 싶은 집, 가고 싶은 여행,
We could achieve a money rich life because we could do a lot of things that we want to do with that money.
이
And
프렌드 리치
for being friend rich,
사업하면
with Atomy,
뭐 외로울
you will have thousands and hundreds of friends because you will be surrounded by a lot of people around you. If you become an imperial master, people will march you and welcome you at the airport with flower bouquet. And the problem is the time rich.
무엇이든지 할 수
Of
있고
course, we could do anything we want, and we have the freedom not to do anything. We call it a time-rich life, but
누군 죽어요.
anyway, all of us will die.
애터미에서는
In Atomy,
시간의 부자는 진정한
we say
시간의 부자는
a true time rich could not be reachable because in order to achieve it, we need to read the Bible.
다음 주 금요일 딱 일주일 후에
So after a week, next Friday, we're going to have a revival meeting in Atomy Park. I invite you.
오세요.
I invite you all to the revival meeting. Raise your hand if you want to go there.
또 이렇게 줄을
If you want to come here for the revival meeting,
오세요.
raise your hand.
네. 예, 오시기 바랍니다.
Okay. I sincerely welcome all of you to the revival meeting.
여러분, 우리가 이 세상에서 아무리 성공을 하더라도
No matter how successful we are in this world, all of things will disappear after we die.
하나님이 우리를 창조하실 때
But when God created us,
초절하게 실패하도록 창조하셨냐 하는 거예요.
He
아유, 하나님.
never created us
그래서 우리한테 원래
to fail in front of the death. So God gave us 2 lives.
물학적인 생명,
First one is the biological life.
있죠.
We call it bio.
두 번째 생명이 있어요. 영원한 생명.
And the second life is the eternal life, which is called joy.
그 하나님은
So this eternal life is from God. Because God is eternal, we got that eternal life within us. If we have God inside of us, and then we will become the eternal entity, and we will live eternal life. Not only our body, but also our spirit will live
100년짜리예요.
forever. Our body is limited to only 100 years. Even no matter how beautiful it is, how ugly it is, the life is limited to 100 years.
그런데 중요한 건 뭐냐?
So what is important?
생명을 받는 것이 중요하다.
That we need to get the eternal life. We are now on the life train, and in that train,
누가 더 많이 가질
the best seats, the best seats and the possessions are all mixed in the train. But after 100 years, that train will go down and will go crash. After the train crashes, the possession and the seats will go nothing. So we need to transfer the train. That new train will be the eternal train. In order to get the transfer, we need to cross the cross.
부산에 있는 분들, 부산 한번 띄워줘 보세요. 부산, 예.
Can we see the screen
25일 날 부산 갑니다.
of Busan venue? I will go to Busan on 25th. I will go to
세계로 교회로 갑니다. 세계로 교회.
Segero Church in Busan.
오전 10시 40분까지 오세요. 오늘
Please come to Busan Segero Church on 25th.
무슨 직분자여서 뭘 맡으신 분들은 오후 4시에 또 오셔도 돼요.
And then you could also come to the church at 4 p.m.
저녁 때까지 있으세요.
If you have no position in the church, you could come in the morning and you could stay there until the afternoon. I'm going to give a special lecture at the church.
분들은 다 세계로 교회로 가세요.
All of the Busan citizens, if you want to go to church, I sincerely welcome you to the Segero Church. In that church,
단계를 잘 배울 수 있어.
you will learn the network marketing.
손 목사님이라는 분이
Because in Segero Church, we have the Pastor Son. He's really good at missionary.
300명씩을 해.
He invites 300 people every year.
기본적으로 1년에 100명씩을 전도를 해야 돼.
And the
하면은 빵명이래, 빵명.
people going to that church need to do the mission work, and they need to welcome 100 people to the church every year. I think that mission work is really similar to our Go 100 campaign. Pastor Son is really good at the missionary work, and he said for him missionary work is really easy. You know, what is easier? Doing the Atomy business, like selling the visible thing, or doing the missionary work, like introducing invisible things. I think that introducing heaven is more difficult because it is invisible. But even though they are welcoming 1,000 people to the church, and they also
처음에는 그 마을에 100명 사는데 100명의 명단을 다 작성을 해가지고 밤늦게까지 기도하고
baptize them. How they do is that they welcome them to the church, and they also pray in front of their houses. They said that, God, please allow me to share the gospel with them, because I really want to welcome them to the heaven. And in the daytime, they also say that, please come to church, please come to church. And if one says, no, I don't want to go, and he said, no, please come, I would like to ask you. He did it for 70 times, and the new person said that, how come I will not see you. And the pastor's son said, please come to church, and I will not do that. And then that person has become the elder in the church. As such, if you go to the church and if you learn the missionary work, you will naturally learn how to do Atomy business, and also it will lead you to the church. So everyone living in Busan, I sincerely welcome you all to Segero Church on 25th. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman Park, for your vision speech. Please give a big hand to Chairman Park.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요.